Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes and hockey fans alike. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel. Now let's jump into some hockey content. Hello everybody, happy Wednesday. I did not think we were going to be here. I had a pretty bad migraine, but we are going to soldier through it. It's a little bit better. So we're going to be talking about whether or not the Toronto Maple Leafs are a lock to win the Canadian Division. And if you are new, please make sure to subscribe. And then if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. So, with that being said, I wanted to say one thing before we start really fast. We'll get it done. So, I want you to ask me questions down below in the comment section during or before, after this video. I don't really care, because Saturday's video will be a Truth or Drink edition, probably with some adult beverages, which we will be talking hockey edition, and you can ask me questions that aren't hockey related. So it'll be a Truth or Drink, so just ask questions down below. And if you don't want to do it there, you can do it in my DMs on Instagram. It's Blue Jackets Brigade with the same logo, and you can ask as many as you'd like. So there we go. We got that out of the way. So let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are potentially going to win their division for the first time since the 1999-2000 season, which they won the Northeast Division. And that is a lifetime ago, and the world of hockey has changed since then. When that season started, I wasn't even born yet, so that gives you some perspective there. The two teams behind them currently are the Winnipeg Jets, which are 6 points behind them, and the Edmonton Oilers, which are 7 points behind them, and they've all played the same amount of games, so there you have that. And there's still 17 games left for the Maple Leafs, and nothing is a sure thing in the sports world, we all know that. But I do think, in my opinion, which again, opinions are opinions, not facts, that they're probably a lock to win the division at this point. They're having a great season from Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, who have combined for 40 goals together, 27 of those being Austin Matthews is, whatever the wordage would be there, and 53 assists, together good for 93 points, and a combined 75 games played, which means that together their points per game is 1.24. So together they average over a point per game, which is a good thing. Then you had Old Man Tavares, and he is chipping in offensively as well, as he's got 32 points in 39 games played. Good for 0.82 points per game. And while it's not a higher points per game where it was 1 or higher a few years back, he's still chipping in. Yes, he is almost 31. I kind of expected his offensive production to dip as the deal went along. It's looking like what will happen now, but it's not crazy. I won't forget to mention the names Jake Muzzin, Justin Holl, I don't know, Hall, I'll say it like that, who are both having good defensive seasons, and it could be a career year for Justin offensively, as I think before this, his career year for offensive points, or just points, was 18, and he's got 14 right now. Then you have Muzzin, whose offensive game may not be as apparent as it was before, but make no mistake, his two-way game is still very good. He's still a super underrated defenseman, very good defenseman. But Morgan Rielly, of course, is another name we have to talk about. This man is criminally underrated. I don't know if it's Maple Leafs fans maybe talking about him and then people saying you're wrong or what, but he's doing his usual things for the Maple Leafs, being a good two-way player. Another name that needs to be thrown out is Jack Campbell, who hasn't lost in a single of his 9 starts this season, and his numbers are sparkling. He's got a 1.53 goals against average, a .944 save percentage, and 2 shutouts in those 9 appearances. And these players I mentioned above are just part of the team. I could talk about some other guys on here as to why they're going to win the division. At the end of the day, you look at this roster before the season started, and then you get to see them play together. They're just probably the best built team in the division. There's some other teams that have some good pieces, but maybe not the way Toronto does. And I do get they've had some high picks, but it does show how dominant they are. And I'm going to talk about how dominant they are as well. Currently, they are 5th for goals for in the league and 9th for goals against in the league, which is obviously a good thing. In terms of 5-on-5 play, they're really dominant, as they're 5th for 5-on-5 goals against per 60, goals for, and 7th 5-on-5 goals against per 60. At 5-on-5 alone, they're 3rd for scoring chances per 60. They're 3rd for high danger chances for per 60. They're 5th for goals percentage, and they're 5th for high danger chances for, and are 6th for shooting percentage, which makes sense. They've got a lot of good shooters. Matthews is on a whole other world, not only for that team, but he's got to be one of the top snipers in the league. Pair that with the fact that they've got the 8th highest power play percentage in the league, you can see why playing them is so hard. And I know they don't get the most time on ice for power play per game, but they've got some really skilled shooters, so they get away with that a little bit more, where they're probably going to score at a higher rate on the power play with less opportunities. Are they a defensive juggernaut? No, but they are a good team that doesn't allow a high amount of high danger chances, and they have some of the best offensive players in the league when it comes to shooting, passing, things like that. I know people don't really look at Marner and think, holy cow, but he's very good at passing. The goaltending, while I think is questionable at times, it is good enough to get the job done, and for all the reasons I've talked about, they just seem the most likely to win the division because of the amount of time they have left. There's not a crazy amount of games, and I think they should be able to win it with some spare room. 17 games left. You think they'll probably win at least half of those. So that's what my thinking there. The other teams in the division do have talent, but when I look at Winnipeg, when I look at Edmonton, the two teams behind them, I don't really see them. They're not as complete of a team as Toronto. Now, Edmonton's got some stars with Draisaitl and McDavid, don't get me wrong, and they've got some other good pieces. They're not as complete. Winnipeg isn't as complete either, although Hellebuck is a really good goalie. I'm not sure if you can say certain words on here, so we get the picture there. There's just some flaws that aren't there as such for Toronto, which Toronto has flaws too. Do I think that the Maple Leafs are already locked to win the division? We have basically said that throughout the video. I do think they will. Let me know if you think they will. If there'll be another team that wins the division this year, down in the comments below. And then again, don't forget to do the truth or a drink questions, where I will do that for the Saturday video. Just leave them down below. And then if you want to DM to me, like we said before, on Instagram, that works. And then one more thing before we go. If you are still here, seems like you liked my rant on Wednesday, so we're going to turn Wednesdays in what we're going to call them weekly Wednesdays, where it's just a free range. I don't really look at notes or anything. I kind of just have topics that I might have typed on my computer, but no real notes per se, where I just kind of go on my rants and talk about things that have happened in the week and my thoughts on them. So weekly Wednesdays will start this upcoming Wednesday, and then if you are still here and have not subscribed, please make sure to do so. We are really close to 200, and I'm proud of all of you, and thank you for the support. Everybody, stay safe, have a great day, and stay away from COVID, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.